What is going on, guys? We're working on the Skyline today. We're going to be installing new radiator hoses as well as a new thermostat. We're also going to be checking out the timing belt just because I'm a little curious about it, and I actually have an HKS timing belt that we are going to throw on, but we're just waiting on our Mishimoto radiator to show up before we start doing that. So we have all these parts here for the Skyline that we've had for a couple weeks now. This is our HKS timing belt. It actually came off of this motor here. It's still in good condition, so we're going to use it. This thing is almost $200. But to install that, the radiator and essentially everything in the front area needs to come out. So we're going to hold off on doing it because we have a radiator on the way. So I don't want to take this radiator out and then put it back in and then take it out again and then put the new one in. I'd like to just get everything done at the same time. But we are going to take this top timing cover off and just see how the belt looks. But the main thing that we are going to be doing is the radiator hoses, top and bottom, as well as changing our thermostat down there. We have this Mishimoto 160 degree Fahrenheit thermostat. We're going to be using that. That is the same one that I have in my 240. That'll keep the temp lower than operating temp, so we shouldn't have any worries about overheating. And this car, I really don't want to do that. I mean, you don't really want to overheat in any car, but especially don't want to overheat in this one because this one is going to be my daily, and it's also going to be kind of like a road trip car. I go to Arizona kind of frequently, so this will be the car that I will be driving, and I want to make sure that it's reliable enough to make it there and back. But we have the radiator hoses, we have some ISR ones. I couldn't find any radiator hoses for the RB for Mishimoto, so I went with ISR. And then we also have like a tensioner pulley, an idler pulley in here. We got the tensioner spring. We also have some half moons and some coil pack cover bolts. And right here, these are actually gaskets for our GTR wing that should be showing up next week. We also have a Wiring Specialties harness getting made right now, so hopefully that shows up within the next week or two. So I'm very, very excited. We're starting the Skyline build, getting everything replaced. Today we're going to start with the hoses and thermostat. So we have the top hose in. Now the bottom one's going to be a little bit trickier because we have to leave it off so we can take the thermostat housing off, which is in the most convenient of places, right where that rag is. It is not easy to change the thermostat. I actually had to do it with the RB still in the 240 when I did that one, but it is possible to do it within the car. So we're going to take the lower hose off, take the thermostat housing off, and then replace the thermostat, put everything back together with our brand new radiator hose. It's because it's actually for the RB25, but for the 20 you just have to cut it right before the bend, and then it's a straight line and it goes in perfectly. So we got both the hoses out, they're just chilling over there. Before we take off the other ones, we have to take off the thermostat housing, which is this guy. But of course, it's right under the intake manifold. So you can see our thermostat down there, it's all nasty. It seems to be a common thing with these iron block motors is that no matter what color coolant you put in, it's gonna turn rusty. I guess it's just something to do with it being an iron block. My 240 is the same way. I can put brand new coolant in, and then literally one day of driving, it's already all rusty. So it just turns the color kind of orange. You can see like right there, the rag has some green on it, and the coolant that was dripping out was green too. So you can see the housing here is just disgusting. We're gonna clean it up and maybe even paint it a little bit. I might have some silver paint we can throw on, but we definitely need to clean all that up. Look at that, nasty. So I was going to clean and paint that one, but because we have this spare motor over here, the thermostat housing on this one is actually really clean, so we're just gonna take it off and throw it on the R32. That's what's nice about having a spare motor. I got an HKS belt from it. I got the thermostat housing. I've got a bunch of parts in there, including ARP head studs for the RB20, which is like 220 bucks. So pretty good come up on that motor. But look right there, I put the new thermostat in and it's having a hard time because nothing is pushing up against it, so there's some coolant dripping. So this housing I just painted really quick, should be dry now. So we will put some gasket maker on that and then we will throw it on. So we have our nice shiny thermostat housing down there. So now we can put our radiator hose. Let's just throw the clamps on it and put this on. So now we have the upper end radiator hoses replaced. We got our 160 degree thermostat in. So now we can add some coolant and then we can bleed it with the bleeder valve. So now I have the car ready to start, so let's just turn it on real quick. So now we're just gonna let it run so we can get the air out from here, and then we'll try messing with the bleeder valve. If you're ever curious as to how a stock R32 sounds, it's very quiet. Doesn't sound intimidating at all. especially compared to my 240. So while it's doing its thing, we're also going to be checking for leaks and making sure that we're all good to go. So we're running the car, just turned the heater on, got it on full blast, just letting it run for a little bit. It's up to temperature now. So you see our coolant temp on the right is just below half, and we're not leaking at all so far. Still have our heater on, it blows pretty hot. Just a side note, I can't get over how clean this interior is. Like every piece is there, nothing's cracked. The only dash bubble I have is the one right there. I don't have the very common one that goes right there. I'm just so happy with it. My vent isn't cracked in the center. That vent's still good. I'm just super psyched. I need to get some like R32 GTR seats in here though or something. While we wait for the motor to cool down, I'm gonna take the timing cover off and check out the timing belt. So the timing belt actually doesn't look too bad. We got the right amount of tension on it. You can't really tell, but the idler and tensioner pulleys actually look like they've been replaced, which is interesting because I bought idler and tensioner pulleys. I guess when we take the belt off later, we can check them out and see if we want to run them or not. Worst case scenario, I bought pulleys for a spare motor. We can see our nice shiny water pump down there. Cam gears look good. We have the half moon in there. Can kind of see it right in the center of those 4 bolts. So actually it looks pretty clean, so I'm very happy with that. So now we can throw all those pieces back on. So now we're all done. Timing and everything, that looks good there. That actually looks too good, like it's been replaced recently, which is like nice, but it's also like kind of upsetting because, you know, I already bought the parts. So we'll see if we're going to throw them on or not. Most likely going to throw the belt on regardless of the condition of the pulleys. But I am very happy that we got our thermostat in and we got our new hoses. And everything is all bled and we are good to go. Well, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you did. Comment down below and then hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.